Here again, my family is lying and saying that they took those photos and they were right there. No, they were not. I had an iPad and I could stand it up and set the timer to take pictures. I took those pictures myself, and it was not when I was visiting my grandmother, because I never visited my grandmother. I didn't have to. I lived with her. Those pictures were taken in my bedroom. My bedroom. I had a room in her condo because I lived in the condo with her. She specifically bought a condo with 2 bedrooms so that I could live with her. I lived with her. My family told you that I moved in after she passed away. My family told you that I didn't live with her. My family lied. I lived with my grandmother most of my adult life. I lived in the condo with her. I lived in the big house with her. I lived in the trailer with her. I lived with her. How could I have just been visiting somebody who I lived in the very next room in the same condo? I lived there. This is what I'm trying to tell you, people. My family has lied. My family lied. Anybody could tell you that I was living with my grandmother, not visiting her on these moments that I was in her house, actually physically existing in that condo with her. We were living together. We lived together. We shared the condo. She had a room, I had a room, we had a living room and a kitchen. We shared it. It was our home. Kathy was the one that was there to visit. And she would leave the kids and just go off to the beach or to her family that had the drugs that she wanted. I didn't have to come visit somebody that I lived with and saw every single day of my life. And if my family had not told you guys that, you would not believe it. This is what I'm saying. Everything that Adonis Paul knows comes straight from my aunt, who told him that I didn't move into that condo until after Meemaw died because I was looking for a free place to live. I was already living there. I had already been living there. After I left my husband, I moved in with my grandmother. I moved out momentarily for a couple of months when the murder happened. And then I moved back in with her. And I didn't move out of that condo again until the police came and put a note on the door saying that they were going to auction it. It was not my aunt that made me leave. It was not my sister that made me leave. It was the police that were auctioning off the condo. The condo that I lived in. The condo that I lived in with my grandmother for over a decade, that I lived in, not that I visited, lived in. I lived in the condo with her. I lived with her. I lived with her. I did not just visit. That was Kathy. Kathy came down once a year and visited. I lived there 24/7, 365 days a year. I lived there. I lived there.